So plants are classified into two different groups. So first of all is Bryophytes. Okay, and the second group is Tracheophytes. All right, so these classification is actually due to whether they have a vascular system. So if they have a vascular system, if it's a yes, okay, then the answer is Tracheophytes. But if it doesn't have a vascular system, then it's called Bryophytes, okay? So example of Bryophytes is like mosses. Okay, so the definition of vascular system is just when you look at a tall tree, you have these like transfer vessels, right? So these vessels are for the transport of nutrients, water, and sugars, okay, from the ground to the shoot system, the leaf system, or from the leaf system to the roots, okay? So from top to bottom, they actually transport water, nutrient, and sugar, right? So in order to do that, they need a vessel, right? So that transport vessel, one of them is called xylem, the other one is called phloem. So these two combined is called vascular system. So the ones that have vascular system is called tracheophytes. The ones that lack this kind of system is called bryophytes. These are non-vascular plants. Okay, so since they are non-vascular, they can't really transport water to the very top of the tree. So that's why these are very short. Okay, they can't be very tall because they can't really transport water. Okay, also water is diffused in. Okay, so water actually is absorbed into the plants by diffusion. Okay, yeah. Also, it has to live in a moist environment because water has to diffuse in. Okay, so if it is dry, then they can't really diffuse water in, so they're gonna die. All right. So this is more confined plants, right? This is more of a primitive form of plants. So when you read through 189. Yeah, this is what they're talking about, right? So bryophytes are primitive. They live in moist environment. The waters are diffused, okay? And also they're tiny and short, okay? Also, the example is mosses. Tracheophytes have transport vessel, okay? So they are called xylem and phloem. Also, they include ancient seedless plants like ferns. So example of this is ferns, okay? That reproduce by spores, all right? So this reproduce by spores, okay? They include modern plants that reproduce by seeds, okay? So we can also classify this plant, okay, this group of plants into two different classes. The ones that fertilize by spores, okay, and the ones that fertilize with seeds, okay? So the plants that reproduce by seeds are actually gymnosperms, okay, and angiosperms. All right, so we classify this group further into these two. All right, so the seed plants are actually further divided into gymnosperms and angiosperms. All right, so if you focus on gymnosperms, okay, and angiosperms, first of all, so gymnosperms, okay, so these are the seed plants. All right, so they classify into these two depending on how the seed looks, okay? So if the seeds are not enclosed in chambers, right, okay? So these seeds are not enclosed in chambers. So it doesn't really have a like hard shell, but it's rather kind of exposed, then it's called gymnosperms, all right? So gymnosperms are conifers, the cone-bearing plants. They have various modifications to help them survive under dry conditions, okay? So they include needle-shaped leaves, a thick and waxy cuticle, and stomates located in stomatal crypts to reduce water loss even further, okay? So this lives in like cold or dry environment, all right? So these are called gymnosperms. As opposed to that, angiosperms, so angiosperms are another seed plant. Okay, so these have seeds enclosed in chambers. Enclosed in chambers.